Candyman is a sequel and a reboot to the 1992 original, and it tells the story of a painter who discovers the legend of Candyman and tries to share it with the world, unknowingly leading to the Candyman's return. I guess I should start by saying that I've never seen the original Candyman movie, so if this one completely changes the lore or does something that doesn't fit with the other ones, I'm not going to mention it. I don't think you have to see the older ones to watch this one. It'll definitely help, but it's not 100% required. Even though I haven't seen the original one, I thought this one looked really cool. The trailers looked great. Jordan Peele is behind this. He's made some great horror movies. And even though it got delayed like a million times, I was just waiting for it to come out, and now it's finally here. And I had a great time with this movie. I really enjoyed it. It has some issues that we'll get into later, but for the most part, it's a really solid horror movie and one of the better ones I've seen this year. One of the best parts about this is easily the technical aspects. The cinematography, the visuals, the sound design, the music, all of that is great. There's these shadow puppet scenes that you might have seen in the trailer. Those are really cool, and on a technical level, this film is incredible. The music is really atmospheric and creepy. It's not super noticeable. I mean, there are a couple tracks that do stand out, but it fits the tone very well, and the music's very good overall. And aside from the technical side, the story and characters are all really good too. A lot of people have talked about the film's social commentary and how it's not very subtle, and it definitely isn't. If you are a fan of like subtle social commentary in movies, you probably are not going to like this. For me, it didn't really bother me too much, and I think it's saved by actually tying its social commentary into the story. If the story had nothing to do with it, and it just mentioned the issues that it mentioned in the way that it does, yeah, it would come off as more forced, but since it is tied into the narrative, I can forgive it, and it didn't really bother me. Aside from the social commentary, I really enjoyed the story and characters. This is a lot different than I was expecting and what the trailers led me to believe this was. This seems like a normal slasher, but it definitely isn't. It's very unique, and it's sort of this crazy descent into madness. It is a little slow for the first two acts, and then the third act kind of introduces a ton of stuff really quickly. And I think that's my biggest issue with it, is the pacing could have been a little more even. But other than that, the story and characters are all really good. The Candyman himself is very creepy. I really liked his design. He's not in it a whole lot. He has more of like a presence throughout it. He's not physically there all the time. But besides his design and his character, this movie isn't very scary. It's more intense. It's very intense, but I wouldn't really call it scary. It's more of a psychological thriller. I didn't really mind, but it could have been a lot creepier. The kills are also really solid. They do show pretty much all of them in the trailer, which is kind of stupid, so if you don't want to know any of the kills, definitely stay away from the trailers. But the kills are still really solid. They show you enough, but they do leave a lot up to your imagination. A lot of it's off-screen, but it is still very effective, and all of the kills are very memorable. Overall, I had a really good time with Candyman. The story, characters, the technical aspects are all great. It's very intense. It's crazy. It could have been scarier, and there are a lot of pacing issues. But besides that, this is still a very good horror film, and I would definitely recommend it. I'm giving Candyman a 7.5 out of 10. When I think about it, sometimes it goes up. I was like, oh, that's really cool. I'll give that an 8. Sometimes it's like, oh, this has some issues. I'll give it a 7. For right now, I'm split in the middle, 7.5. It could go up to an 8, and it's probably going to go up before it goes down. But this is still definitely worth watching. So thank you guys for watching the video. Let me know, how does this compare to the original? Should I watch that? Is it better or worse? What do you think about this new one? All that, leave that in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.